Hello, it's Deborah from the attic, and today I want to show you how to make some quick and easy, but I think really beautifully effective little gift cards. I've done these so that they could be used for general occasions. So this is a little petal, a flower petal in this green one. The flower petal can be repeated in any colour that you want, or you can make it a little bit Christmassy since it's coming to that time of year by using a more obviously snowflake little die in some nice blues and soft non-Christmassy shades. But of course you could do these in red or any colours that you happen to have. We're going to be using alcohol inks and Yupo paper and some dies, and I'm going to just show you how I've made these little cards. I'm beginning with Yupo paper. This is Yupo medium, which means it is 200 GSM. I've got a selection of alcohol inks here. I've got a gold mixative, I've got mountain rose, lettuce, oregano, wild plum, red pepper, and I've got alcohol blending solution, which I may or may not need, and I've got some clean felt on my applicators. I'm going to begin adding the colours, and I'm just sprinkling them onto the Yupo paper in a fairly random style. Even if you think it's not going the way you want it to go, it's worth just keeping going. I've started out with some horrors and ended up with some fantastic results, really nice effects. You can swipe the ink over the paper, it will slide beautifully. I prefer to dab because I want a more dabby effect. I don't know how to describe it, but that's more of the effect that I want. And then whenever you need more, just add more. I prefer to add a couple of colours at a time and blend them in because I don't want them to dry too fixedly in one place. I want to make sure I can still move them around. If you want to have greater control over the way the ink lands on the Yupo paper, add little drops to your felt pad. This is difficult for you to see because there's a whole bunch of colours on this, but that's just the lettuce, splats of the lettuce on there, and you will see that it breaks down those larger blobs of colour, and it makes the pattern smaller, and that's what I want because I'm going to be cutting this down to make smaller cards. I have a gold fixative which I'm going to, sorry, mixative, not fixative, I always call it the wrong name, and I'm going to use that in the same way that I used the little drops of green. I'm going to add some more blending solution to soften this. I'm hoping you can see the shimmer from the gold on there. That looks very rich and very ornate. This is my little production area, and I start with my Yupo paper, which I've cut down so that it is 5.5 centimetres by just under 6.5 centimetres, so that gives a nice square. I've chosen a die which will fit within that size, and I've already cut a piece from silvery glittery paper, and I'm going to keep that because that's the bit that will then be inserted into the final card. And I've just die cut from the Yupo paper, so I've just done that, and I'm going to pop out the piece that I've die cut because that will be nice to keep for another project. You can be a little bit rougher with the Yupo paper as well when you're taking it out of dies and things like that, because it's not going to rip in the way that paper will rip. So I can keep that, reserve that for another project. Then I've cut out little cards that are just slightly larger than the Yupo paper. So the next stage is to glue that onto the little card, and then after that, and I'm using different colours here, so this is just to make this stand out a little bit easier, I will then glue the die cut back into the shape that's been created in the Yupo paper. And I'm just going to show you how I've been sticking the little thin die cuts into position, because they are very thin and they're a bit too thin to be going around the opposite side of them with glue. So I've opted to just put a little tiny dab of glue in the points where there's a good grab. So a little bit in the centre and at the tip of the petals, and that will be enough to hold my little die cut into position. And then, to avoid me getting really sticky fingers, I'm using one of my acrylic blocks to stamp it down and hold it in place. And then I can push down, I can get even pressure, and that will help glue those tiny thin little arms into the card. Thank you very much for watching. I'm going to leave you now with some music and some close-ups of the cards that we've made today, and I hope you can join me again soon. In the meantime, take care.